I can classify the days as the best and the worst days of my life, because it was the only moment on my homeland when I can feel freedom. Freedom in this country is something that you can talk, you can feel it, you can say whatever you want without having the government stopping you to say it. I didn't have that opportunity on my homeland. So it had been in Cuba, in Santiago de Cuba on July 11, around thousands of people in the street, young people saying freedom and yelling for freedom of Cuba was the best moment of my entire life. I can say it. And I would like to talk a little bit about what he says about what happened to me a couple of weeks after July 11. I was trying to speak up for the people that was in prison at that moment. A lot of my friends, they were hurt, they were in prison, so I tried to talk with anyone that could hear me, and I did it. And because of that, one morning, around 3 weeks after the July 11 happened, around 15 people arrived from my home. I was living alone in a small apartment. They took everything that it was technology. They took my laptop, my phone, they searched everything. They arrived with criminalistic big bags, like I was a criminal, like I was a terrorist, and they want to put charges on me just because of a tweet. I think that I remember the tweet that they want to use against me, and it was, I just want a Cuba where if you speak against the government, you and your family are not hurt. That was the tweet that I made, and I ended up in prison because of that. So I spent, I don't know how many hours on prison that day. They put me on a small cell with another woman that was harassing me sexually. It was a completely nightmare, and I'm just doing this point because the only reason why, because I'm able to speak today here, is because a lot of people outside of Cuba, a lot of part of the exile were here in the United States speaking for me. I have Congress people that speak out about my situation, and something that the Cuban government fears is people speaking the truth. So we have a Cuba is a dictatorship, but it's a cancer that has spread throughout Latin America. Cuban, the dictatorship has destroyed its country as Venezuelan, Nicaraguan, Bolivian, and Argentina. Cuban people live in an absolute misery because of the dictatorship, with no food, no electricity, no freedom. And that's so, it's horrible to think about it when you think that they are just 90 miles away of the United States of America. Even when you think that Cuba is a small piece of land, it can be defined as a center of intelligence where narco-terrorists get trained. And the evidence that we have of this is that today, Maduro's dictator of Venezuela is being protected by the Cuban intelligence, by the Cuban government. So we have a dictatorship on Cuba who maintains the United States as their enemy and is an ally of Venezuela, Iran, and Hamas, just 90 miles away. They have infiltrated people under the United States. They have spies here in the United States. They sell their doctors as a modern form of slavery. They keep in the country more than 1,000 young people, some of them younger than 18 years old, in prison just for recording a protest, or just for putting a tweet, or to put a video on YouTube about what is happening, or about human rights. And I'm sorry, my voice is cutting a little bit. Sadly, Cuba, the dictatorship of Cuba, has spread the false belief that the socialism works, and it doesn't. And that belief is here in the United States, shared for many Americans, and my heart just breaks each time that I hear an Americans put Cuba as an example of anything, because they are just an example of a narco dictatorship. So I really appreciate to be here again, because it's so important for people that is in prison today, for people that are not able to speak, having someone saying that they think. And because the Cuban dictatorship hates anything more than a Cuban speaking the truth. So, thank you.